So today, I thought I'd talk about how do we fill that inner void? You know what I'm talking about. You've had that feeling and you've been trying to feed it forever. I can remember when I was in seventh grade, I had a little girlfriend, Carol, and I was hoping that she could fill that void in my heart because I was that young little guy and I felt, oh, if I had a girlfriend, it would be so great. And even when I was with her, and it was pure innocence, the most we ever did was hold hands. And I kept thinking, oh my God, well, I'm going to fill that void in me. And it never got filled. And I said, is it her? In reality, it was never her. It was always me. I was trying to fill that void with someone else. I can remember in college, I felt that same void. And I went looking for the right person to fill it, or the right party to go to, the right drug to take, the right booze to drink. I never did fill that void. It wasn't until I've got much, much, much older that I realized that that inner void cannot be filled from the outside. So let's talk about that. Let's look at understanding our inner void. An inner void is really a feeling of emptiness. Have you ever had that? Could be on your job, could be when you're alone, could be when you're with people, could be just in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. It's a feeling of emptiness, a feeling that something is missing. It's a feeling of incompleteness or dissatisfaction that can manifest with a sense of longing or restlessness. How many of you feel alone and you're longing for something to fill that void? It's a nagging feeling that sometimes we have, that something is missing, even when everything on the outside seems perfect. I can remember go back 30 years ago. I was rising up the corporate ladder. I have a beautiful, loving wife, two beautiful, loving little boys, a dog, a beautiful house in a suburb, two beautiful cars, a country club membership. And yet I felt something was missing. And yet, by the American dream, I had everything. I didn't understand the inner void. What is the source of this inner void? Well, you could start off with unmet emotional needs. We feel that we need to have our emotions met instead of understanding that our emotions are there to balance us. That inner void could be there because we have unresolved past experiences, maybe with our mom and our dad, maybe with a boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe with a job, maybe we got fired and we didn't feel successful, but it's unresolved. We've not brought it into balance. Or it could be a sense of being disconnected from our true selves. That would be the identity that we're our body, we're our mind, we're our emotions, when in fact, that's not who we are. We're the observer. We're awareness that has a body, mind, and emotions. And we think we become the body, mind, and emotions, and that's not who we are. We're that which is observing the body doing its thing, observing the emotions we feel, observing the thoughts we have, instead of identifying ourselves as that. It's a part of us that feels unfulfilled and yearns for something deeper. I can remember visiting a friend back in Michigan after I'd left and come back, and I wanted to have a feeling, and there was this Buddhist temple near where they lived. And I wanted to go into the Buddhist temple because I felt there might be something there. And I identified that there was something unfulfilled in me, but I thought the temple would be that which could fulfill me. And I realize now a place doesn't do it. It's who you are in the innerness, in the depth of all that you are. It's an inner knowing that there's something more. And most of the time, we've not even begun to identify it. And we're always starting from the outside. The outside does what for us? That's where what? Men will have their midlife crisis, won't they? They'll buy the sports car, they'll go chase a younger woman, whatever it might be. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be anything, it could be traveling excessively, but it's an inner crisis, not realizing that it's never going to work. Think about a time when you felt a deep sense of emptiness despite having everything that you wanted. Could be achieving a large goal, having a great partner, buying a dream car, dream house, or going on a dream vacation. And no matter what you did, you felt empty. I remember so many times my mom and dad retired in the island of Maui. My dad was a fireman, my mom was a nurse. They ended up buying a HUD home. Dad gutted it, repaired it, and they lived in Maui for 30-some years before mom died. Then dad died later. But I went there many, 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 many times because I'd have frequent flyer miles, free place to stay, free food. It was like my sons think Maui, everyone went to Maui. Everyone went to Maui. But I can remember so many times walking on the beach, and the people walking on the beach would have that look of zombie. They wouldn't be happy. And I'd be walking on the beach saying, "Hey, how you doing?" They wouldn't even answer. They would look at me like, "What are you talking about?" They didn't realize something was missing. You don't go to paradise when you're living in hell. It's your inner state of being that you take with you, and that's what creates a new experience. So what are some possible solutions? Well, we tend to look for external solutions that are what? Material possessions. We live in a consumer-driven society that equates success and happiness with the accumulation of wealth and possessions. Let me tell you, it don't work. We relate to an external solution, a relationship. We seek love, validation, and approval from others to complete us and feel worthy. I need my partner to tell me I did a good job. I need to feel wanted and loved by someone else so I know I have value. And then you have the relationship, and you still feel something is missing. I have a perfect wife, vibrates with me in every aspect, and there was a time I felt I didn't have enough from her. Another thing is the idea of achievement, of status. Many people believe that attaining higher status, career, social recognition, achieving a certain accomplishment will provide lasting fulfillment. It's all short-lived. It has nothing to do with filling that void. So why don't external solutions work? Because number one, it provides temporary satisfaction. It offers a fleeting moment of pleasure or distraction, but fails to address the root cause of our emptiness. It's a misperceived true needs. External solutions are superficial. They mask the deeper issue we need to address within ourselves. External solutions create what? Dependency and a loss of self. They lead to dependency, a loss of self-identity. When we depend on things or people to define our self-worth, we lose touch with our authentic self. So what is the path? What path can we take to inner fulfillment? It's a path of self-reflection and awareness. Understanding our thoughts, emotions, desires help us identify our true source of emptiness. It's the ego, and the ego can never be satisfied. We look back and realize all the things we've done in the material world don't satisfy us. It's living authentically. Living to our highest values fulfills our need for self-expression and purpose. One of the highest values that every human being in the world has is a sense of freedom. And we're willing to sacrifice that freedom for external things. Once we give that up and we're free, Then we can live authentically. We're no longer people pleasers. We understand that we have values, a hierarchy of values different from anyone else. And we start living to those values. And when we live those values, we have a high sense of self-worth. My number one value after freedom is to become more aware. More aware that I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm not my emotions. I am the one experiencing the mind, body, and emotions. And everything in life leads me to a greater level of awareness. And when I understand that, I realize that the awareness that I am doesn't need anything or anyone. The path to inner fulfillment comes with self-compassion, treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during challenging times. Do you treat yourself as well as you treat other human beings? Do you treat yourself as well as your dog treats you? My dog is always loving, always loving. The path to inner fulfillment comes from nurturing meaningful connections. Relationships cannot fill our void, but they can enhance our sense of belonging and support our journey toward fulfillment. My relationships are all about support, growth, sharing, and have fun. They don't make me whole. They don't complete me. I don't need them. I choose them. I choose relationships that challenge me and support me. Because in order to become more aware, we've got to be challenged. And you know what? Why not find ones that are agreeable to that? Because no matter what you do, life will challenge you. Because that's the nature of life. The path to inner fulfillment is also inner peace through accepting who we are and finding joy in every moment. This is a huge statement. This is a class in of itself. Can you accept that you are awareness? Can you accept you have a mind, a body, and emotions, and you've identified with them, and they've created these preferences in your life? And can you accept that when you don't get your preferences, you don't have your expectations met, you're going to feel sad? Can you just accept that life is going to continue to unfold? And your job is to not be in the past. It's not to be anticipating the future, but your job is to be fully present in the moment that's right in front of you. That's the key to living. Be fully present without the past, without the future, in the moment in front of you. Dealing with what is based on knowing who you are. Experiencing an inner void is a natural part of the human experience, and it cannot be filled with external things or people, period. True fulfillment comes from within, through self-awareness, authenticity, self-compassion, and meaningful supportive relationships. This is the journey. What we're doing is we're uncovering our true nature that has been hidden by the ego, by the body. The true nature's always been there. It's not like you have to grow into it. You have to just reveal it. Allow it to show itself in life, because it's always there. Each person's journey is unique to them, and we must come to trust that the answers to fulfill this inner void are within each of us. I don't know what's going to fill your void, but I can support you while you discover that. And I can share my journey that may be an example for you. That's the best I've got. I don't teach. I try to lead by example. Here's my final thought. Now, enjoy the journey, because it's the only one you've got. Don't fight the journey. Be the most authentic, real you. Align yourself with real, authentic people that love and support you, and together live in the moment. And when you're living in the moment, you'll understand you're fulfilled. The emptiness does not exist because you're living your dream. You're living the life that you've chosen to create.